Your wife's been by you for your
She's
whole
your high
career.
school
Your high school sweetheart. She is.
You never leave home without her.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into one of the wildest stories shaking up the hip-hop world right now. Snoop Dogg's wife of 27 years, Shante Broadus, is reportedly filing for divorce. Right as new rumors explode that Snoop might know more than he's ever said about Tupac Shakur's death. Yeah, I know. That's a huge statement. But stay with me, because this story goes way deeper than tabloid headlines. We're talking marriage, money, betrayal, and possibly even murder investigations being reopened. By the end of this video, you'll see why some people think this isn't just a breakup. It's a strategic escape before a storm hits.
She stepped up as my wife and handled that. And it's been many times where I've been at my lowest, and she's always been the strongest to get me back up to get back out there. You gotta get back out there and do what you do. Don't worry about what's happening over here. I'm gonna handle that.
Snoop and Shante's story started way back in high school, Long Beach Poly. They were just two teenagers before the fame, before Death Row Records, before the millions. They went to prom together, got married in 1997 at the Ritz-Carlton, had 3 kids, and built a brand that outlived almost every other hip-hop couple from the 90s. Shante wasn't just the supportive wife. She was the backbone of the operation. She managed his tours, helped launch his TV shows, and later became his official manager in 2021, controlling multi-million-dollar partnerships in cannabis, gaming, and entertainment. When people said Snoop Dogg Incorporated, what they really meant was Shante Broadus behind the curtain. So how does a couple that's lasted nearly 3 decades suddenly start falling apart? According to sources close to them, the timing isn't a coincidence. In mid-2024, Suge Knight, yes, the same Suge Knight who co-founded Death Row Records and is now serving time in prison, dropped a bombshell on his podcast, Collect Call. He said Snoop Dogg has explaining to do about what really happened the night Tupac was shot in Las Vegas in 1996. That single line flipped the internet upside down. Within hours, Reddit threads, hip-hop forums, and YouTube channels started connecting old dots. Snoop's past with Death Row, his relationship with Pac, and his sudden distance from Suge right before the murder. And just weeks later, rumors surfaced that Shante was consulting divorce lawyers.
And good thing he didn't, because even though we was friends, but if pays you, I got a bullet into my skull. And one of the best friends I ever had in life is Pac.
People close to her describe this move not as emotional, but strategic. They call it a preemptive escape. Remember, Shante has access to everything: financial records, brand contracts, tax filings, and possibly even legacy accounts tied to Death Row's old business. If federal investigators start digging through Snoop's companies now that he owns the Death Row name again, she could be pulled into it too. That's why insiders say she's moving assets, hiring forensic accountants, and transferring company control to her lawyers. In short, she's making sure she doesn't go down with the ship.
That boy life is dangerous. His life isn't, and he just not dangerous with the they said he was doing, but he's in danger. He knows too much.
Now, this divorce doesn't exist in isolation. Snoop's had controversy shadowing him for years. From a 2013 lawsuit that accused him of coercive behavior, to long-running cheating rumors involving influencer Selena Powell and others. In 2004, Shante even filed for divorce once before, but they reconciled. He later admitted fame got to his head and said he nearly lost the best thing in his life. But this time, the stakes are higher. This isn't about infidelity. It's about criminal exposure and legacy damage. Let's get deeper into Suge Knight's comments. On Collect Call, he didn't outright accuse Snoop of killing Tupac, but he implied Snoop knows what really happened. That's enough to reignite old suspicions. Former Outlaws member Napoleon backed it up, saying that Snoop and Tupac had a falling out just weeks before the shooting, allegedly because Snoop publicly praised Bad Boy Records while Tupac and Suge were at war with them. Pac reportedly saw that as betrayal. Then, right before the Vegas trip where Tupac was killed, Snoop started distancing himself from the Death Row camp. Coincidence? Maybe. But with Suge calling him out again from behind bars, people are connecting dots that had been quiet for almost 30 years. Here's where it gets dangerous for Snoop. In 2022, he proudly bought back Death Row Records, calling it a full circle moment. But what he might not have realized is, buying that label also reopens every single financial and legal file connected to it. According to entertainment lawyers, that means every old contract, royalty dispute, and payment record from the 90s can now be re-examined. And that's exactly what's happening. Multiple producers from the old Death Row era have said they're being contacted by lawyers and asked to provide statements. Nobody's naming agencies yet, but the timing lines up exactly with Soog's comments and Shante's sudden withdrawal. Let's be clear, Shante isn't just another celebrity spouse. For over 2 decades, she's been signing the checks, managing the accounts, and approving every Snoop Dogg deal through her company, Boss Lady Entertainment. She's handled money from brand deals, streaming rights, and licensing. That means if anything illegal ever flowed through those businesses, she'd know about it. People in the industry are saying straight up, Shante might be the most dangerous person in this whole situation because she knows exactly where the bodies are buried, metaphorically speaking. So if this case really does heat up, she could be a key witness, either willingly or by subpoena. Now, let's zoom out. We've already seen what happens when old hip-hop empires face federal scrutiny. Look at Diddy, one of the most powerful moguls in the game, now facing legal collapse after decades of success. The same playbook seems to be unfolding here. A powerful music figure with deep roots in the 90s, a high-profile partner quietly separating assets, and whispers of federal investigators revisiting unsolved crimes tied to the golden era of hip-hop. The message is clear. No one is untouchable anymore. Amid all the chaos, it's easy to forget there's a real human story here. Snoop once said, "When I'm at my lowest, Shante's the one who gets me back up." She's been there through everything, raising kids, managing his career, holding down the family while he rebuilt his image as hip-hop's friendly uncle. But loyalty has limits. Friends say she's calm, focused, and no longer interested in protecting his reputation. She's reportedly moved out of their LA home, hired a crisis PR team, and started writing her memoir, Paid the Cost to be the Boss Lady. That title alone says it all. As of now, neither Snoop nor Shante has made an official statement. She's disappeared from red carpets and brand events. He's staying quiet, avoiding any direct comment on Suge Knight's accusations. Behind the scenes, though, sources say Snoop is worried. His television roles, endorsement deals, and investments depend on maintaining that clean, reformed image. If his name gets tied back to the Shakur case, even as a rumor, it could destroy decades of brand building overnight. So here's the big question. Is Shante Broadus simply done with a long, complicated marriage? Or is she escaping before the empire she built collapses from the inside? Is Suge Knight just stirring the pot? Or is he pointing toward a truth that's about to shake the music world again? One thing's for sure, this story isn't over, because in Hollywood, and especially in hip-hop, the truth always arrives later than the headlines. Outro music fades in, slow hip-hop beat. Let me know what you think in the comments. Is this the end of Snoop Dogg's legacy, or just another storm he'll smoke his way through? Hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and as always, keep your eyes open and your mind curious.